Alright, today we are going to be accessing our knock sensor on a 2007 Aquatrax F12x. There were a few videos out already about this, but they just seemed like they were missing a little bit of detail that I'd like. First time doing it, so let's learn together, I guess. Try to give as much detail as I can. First, I'm going to start by taking the seats off. As well as the toolkit here in the back. And next I'm going to remove this back upper cover. My sizes for bolts are going to be a little different. Somebody's been in here before, so I don't know that it's very helpful for me to tell you sizes, but I'll at least tell you what I got, and hopefully it either matches yours or you can figure it out pretty easy. Here in the back, mine are two 17s here and here, and then up front I've got a 10 here and a 10 there. We're going to start there. Fronts have a captured nut behind them, so I don't need to hold the back like I did on the back nuts. Watch for these washers. I dropped one of them, but watch for the washers on the backs of the bolts. Let's see. Oh, I am missing two more. They are recessed. Get you a video down in there, right in here. I might have to go grab some tools for that one that I don't have already. If I do, I'll pause this and come back. Nope, they're the same size as the side, which is Allen 5mm. The back for mine, these two were 17s. And these two top bolts were 10 millimeters. 10 millimeters if you didn't hear me because of the car. And then bolt over here. Good. No success this time. Oh, I have a battery maintainer in here attached to mine. Just keep my cover up there, so for what I need, this will give me enough access to slide it out of the way. Next, I'm going to remove this side cover, which is also 5mm, and the backs are captured nuts. And when I said 5mm, it's a 5mm Allen, not a socket. Slide off to the side, giving us access to the side of the intake. Alright, now that we are that far, zoom in a little bit here and let you guys hopefully see what I am doing. Let's see, got a couple sensors here we're going to unplug. Like a map sensor possibly. This is the boost control, wastegate control for the turbo, which I might actually, I think I'm just going to unbolt this part. 10 millimeters here. Gets this bracket off. Pulls the hoses. And it looks like somebody's replaced mine before with bolt that I don't, or bolt size. It looks like it might be an 8 millimeter, so I'm going to go grab that. There's also a sensor on this side here. Probably an intake air temperature sensor if I had to guess. This sensor, or I'm sorry, solenoid for me has been replaced by somebody, so I don't know if this is the right size, or mine's a 7 or not. I'm lying to you, I was wrong. It's actually an 8. Sorry about that. Again, I have no idea if this was the factory bolt he used or not, so may or may not be helpful information, but to me, I would rather unbolt one bolt than take off 2 hoses, so those can just lay out of the way. Next, I'm going to switch over. There is a red boot right here. Comes up into the main intake. There's a worm clamp style down here. On mine it is a 7. That is correct, it is a 7. I'll loosen that. And then I'm going to work my way around this, taking off all the 10 millimeter bolts to give me access to the inside. This hose kind of comes up to the sensor. On mine, these bolts are a little rusty, so rather than taking them off, I'm just going to squeeze this clamp. Just do it by hand even. Twist the hose so it breaks free and comes off. Check your gasket here. Make sure that it's still moldable. Looks like I might actually need to get a new one for me because I've got a spot right here that's kind of flattened out. It's not so soft and protruding anymore, so I might need to get some new gaskets for this. Otherwise, being a turbo model, I might actually lose some boost through this and therefore some power. So. And it looks like now that I have access in here, looks like the next step is going to be some Phillips heads bolts. Get some better view here. Inside here. See them inside. I am able to get my drill in there, but if you're going to use a drill, please make sure that you're fully set on these screws. You don't strip them out, because the last thing you want to do is strip these out and not be able to get them out from the end. That would not be fun. I also do have a regular screwdriver here. It's a little more magnetic, because this hole where the intake comes up is right here, and I really don't want to fish out a bolt or screw out of this hole. Looks like they've actually possibly trapped these bolts. Yep, they did. So this bolt actually can't fall out and fall down the intake. So that's good news. So front piece off. Rear one. And now that gives me access to the bolts that are actually inside here. Alright guys, inside here, these bolts are all 8 millimeters. Of course, I have some fancy tools y'all might not have, so it might be a little harder for you guys, but we're going to start taking these out. Again, be careful not to drop these down into the intercooler area. You also could put a rag or anything like that down inside, paper towels inside this hole, just to make sure that you don't have to worry about something falling in there. Worst case, I'm sure a magnet would get them out. Alright, and I took this clamp off earlier already, so just kind of pull out, twist and pull off the bottom there, and that gives me access under the intake now. And now that that has happened, you guys in here, hopefully allow you to see this knock sensor. Put some harnesses out of the way. So just another reference, here's the engine coming in. It's right there. And just to the left of that, underneath the intake is where the starter is. Alright, so just like on the other side here where I was talking about the gasket, you need to check, there's also two here, just verify. From my understanding, typically they're reusable, they're fine. Most people don't need them. That other one I looked at, apparently I'm just that oddball out guy, but this one does feel a little hard, so I'm not sure. I'm going to see what I can get. I might replace it for safety's sake, just again because I don't want to lose any of my boost pressure. And the next thing, I know I've shown you where that knock sensor is, but here it is unplugged again. Get that to the focus. Most people do not have this problem that I'm having. Actually, most people have an issue with the computer, which is right there. I have an extra computer that I know is good, and then just for an extra double check, I also checked my computer, pulled my computer out of my matching ski, which is right there. It's a red one that is the exact same. Put that one in and made no change, so I think I'm actually one of that 1% that actually has a bad knock sensor. And I don't know if you can actually see the sensor well enough, but you can see some of the corrosion build up there on the side, so I'm thinking my sensor actually is bad. So I guess we're gonna get this swapped out and see where we go. I don't see how I'm ever going to get a socket in there, so I'm actually going to be using a 15/16 wrench. Broke it free. It feels like it's spinning pretty easy. I might be able to get it out by hand now. Just for a better view, you can see my sensor is not looking the best up here near the plug, so if I had to guess, that's probably what started it for me. So installation is going to be essentially just rinse and repeat, or go in reverse here. Make sure your bolts are not cross-threaded. Don't over tighten them, break them off. That would be a bad day. Outside of that, again, double check the gaskets and put it back together. This needs to be nice and snug, but it doesn't need to be crazy tight. I'm not trying to keep fluid or anything from getting out. It's checking for ignition sparks, or ignition knock, so, or engine knock for that matter. So, yeah. Cool. this helps somebody.